Hi everybody. I hope you've had a great week. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of our Irish clients and colleagues. I hope you guys had a great day yesterday. I'm sure potentially still recovering. So today it's Friday, March 18th, and it's just before noon. And what I want to do is just talk to you today about what's happened in the last week. So I will be focusing a lot on the new temporary residence pathway, for Ukraine seeking a safe haven in Canada. So that is called the Canada-Ukraine Authorization for Emergency Travel, or the CUAET. And I'm going to be talking quite a bit about that, and I'm just going to go through the highlights of it. Obviously, all of the details are on Immigration Canada's website, so I invite you to definitely go ahead and go there for all of the specific details. Okay, so the most important thing now is that we were previously aware that there were going to be special measures put in place for Ukrainian nationals, and those were actually released yesterday. So what Canada is saying is that Ukrainians can now apply for a visitor visa and be allowed to stay in Canada for up to 3 years, as opposed to the usual 6 months. They then have the option to apply for an open work permit. So this is very important, that Ukrainians can now apply for an open work permit, which will allow them to get a 3-year open work permit, allowing them to come to Canada and begin working. Tied in with that, they've also launched a program called Jobs for Ukraine, and this is allowing Canadian employers to register and to be able to hire Ukrainians who are coming with an open work permit. Immigration Canada are saying that they will be processing these temporary applications within 14 days, which is great, because that's a lot faster, obviously, than usual applications, so there is some priority processing there. Ukrainians will be exempt from Canada's COVID-19 vaccination entry requirements, but bear in mind that this doesn't use... Travelers still need to check the airline requirements, so even though Canada is saying that they do not necessarily need to show the double vaccination for entry, people do still need to check the airlines because they have their own rules. All right. Let me check here. So the other thing too is that Ukrainians will not, or anybody who previously would have needed to do an immigration medical exam, they will be exempt from doing this. They can do it within 90 days of arriving in Canada. So this depends on where people are coming from, or perhaps what job that they wish to do. So anybody want to go into healthcare obviously needs to do a medical beforehand. So please do go to the other thing is the fees are going to be waived. So the application fees will be waived, which is obviously a huge thing, as well. So the application fees are going to be waived, and biometrics though still need to be done. So this is very important to know that biometrics must still be done, but obviously the VACs, the visa application centers, are closed in Ukraine, and so what that means is that people can go to the VAC centers. They're open in Moldova, Romania, Austria, and Poland. And there's obviously an extensive VAC network across Europe. And bear in mind, when I'm talking about these applications to be filed, these are all filed online. So these can be filed from anywhere in the world. Immigration Canada, along with VAC, are working to set up additional biometrics collection locations, to be able to provide increased capacity so that people can get their biometrics done as quickly as possible, because these will still be a requirement, for the applications. And immigration is also developing, so this is just for future, we don't have details on this yet, but they are developing a special permanent residency stream for family reunification. So we'll get details on that soon. Bear in mind, again, if you have any questions, you can send web forms directly to Immigration Canada. Make sure you include the keyword Ukraine 2022, and this will mean that your inquiry will get priority. The other thing is there is a phone number you can call. It's area code 613-321-4243. Once again, area code 613-321-4243. Collect calls are being accepted on this number. So this is a number that has been designated and set up for inquiries for those coming from Ukraine. So obviously you put the country code 1 beforehand if you're calling from overseas, but you can call and request a collect call, and this will be accepted. So, you know, Immigration Canada are working very hard to try and get programs set up to try and help people come to safety here in Canada. Okay. Other things that have been happening, there was a big announcement this week also that Canada will be lifting the pre-arrival COVID testing requirements as of April 1st, 2022. Hurrah! So finally, that means that if somebody is traveling into Canada, they no longer have to provide neither a PCR test nor an antigen test before arrival. Okay, this only takes effect as of April 1st. There is still the possibility of being tested upon arrival. Okay, there's still going to be random testing, but at least you do not have to do the test beforehand, which you know, could be quite costly, and also they were quite time sensitive, and so sometimes people were having issues getting the tests done on time. There was an express entry draw, okay, on March 16th, so express entry draw number 218, just for provincial nominee applicants as expected. So 924 invitations were issued, and the CRS score of the lowest ranked candidate was 754 points. Okay. British Columbia did announce targeted occupations in healthcare and early childhood education, and it held its first targeted draw for in-demand occupations. So healthcare assistants are now eligible to apply for the PNP program, okay? Along with early childhood educators, they will also now be given priority processing. So this obviously will allow people with these skill sets a better chance for acceptance under the program's eligibility criteria. One other thing that happened was that on March 16th, there were some changes to the medical inadmissibility policy, okay, that took effect. And so, as you know, people do need to do a medical to come to Canada for permanent residency. What's happened is that these changes that we knew were coming, but these are now in effect. And so what it means is that they've tripled the cost threshold of medical inadmissibility. Okay, so what that means is that from time to time, it's not very often, but from time to time, people are deemed inadmissible to Canada for medical reasons. And so sometimes we need to look and we need to see what the cost would be for their treatment if they were coming to Canada. And so Canada has now tripled the cost threshold, okay, in order to be able to determine medical inadmissibility. And they've also amended the definition of social services by removing special education, social and vocational rehabilitation services, and personal support services. So this is a very big change, okay? So again, you can go to their website and get the details on that. Okay, and that's most of the news for this week, everyone. So we want to keep this, you know, as short as possible so that you guys can go through this video. And just pick up any highlights that have happened this week. One thing I did want to mention is with Ukraine, I forgot to mention this during my summary before, was that if a Ukrainian does not have a valid passport, okay, it's okay. Immigration Canada will be issuing a single journey travel document to allow them to travel to Canada. Okay, so it's okay if somebody does not have a passport, they will be issued this single journey document to allow them to get to Canada. Okay, so that's our roundup for this week. So I hope that helps. It gives you all the highlights of immigration this week, everything that's happened in Canada. So I wish you all a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Don't forget to follow us on our YouTube station, our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, our LinkedIn. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.